Hey guys, Stock Saturday and the Trading212 link in the description for a free share. Who knows whether they'll accept you or not, but it's still the waiting list from what I gather. Slightly slow, but good week this week, up about 3,000. There's about £500 in here. That's come from largely the crypto miners, Hive and Argo. Gold and silver up slightly. Not doing too bad. Sneak peek being sort of take a look at the crypto video tomorrow to see what is moving the overall portfolio. But not a huge amount sort of moving here. Potential sort of discussions on tensions easing in Ukraine, I guess, could be sort of moving the market. And obviously interest rates, we've sort of had the first rate by the US sort of settle in, and sort of everyone, I guess you could say everyone's looking at first week in May now, but they've sort of basically said they're going to do 0.25% at every one, so it's not really going to be a surprise unless they don't do that. So May the 3rd, we're looking at another 0.25%. Could start to move things. What has been moving, so the ISA Trading212 ISA is up about £1,300. A lot of that's come from the REITs, so sort of mostly the US REITs, sort of 5 or 6% mostly. Seem to be doing pretty well broadly. Argo blockchain itself, so it's up 4%. I did put a little more in the previous week. Selling off a little bit of Freeport McMoran, so that seems to have gone quite well. Didn't buy any in the sort of 60p lows, or even got to 57p, but yeah, that's fair enough. You're not going to catch the bottom. Things like sentiment sort of still fairly low. A little bit tempted to sort of add a bit more, but we'd have to sell something else off. Digital Realty, as I say, US REITs doing pretty good. Very nice. Realty income, slightly less. That's always sort of slightly less. Very steady share, but 4%. And Stag, pretty much the same. Sylvania, 2% down, but got a fairly nice dividend, hopefully coming this coming week. So that should be nice. And yeah, the UK REITs slightly less than the US, but still up. So that's good. And Vici, 5.8%. So couldn't really see any particular news on the REITs. Just, I guess, seem to be taking the inflation and sort of interest rates in their stride. They're able to sort of increase their rents sort of with inflation up to a limit. So if it really, really runs away, then you'd expect REITs sort of to not do quite so well because they can't put their rent up that much. There is a cap. But in sort of slightly higher than normal inflation times, they do quite well. So looking at the invest account. So it's up about £900. Bit of a mixed bag, but not too many reds this week. The sort of tech stocks are slightly down, but they're sort of really near enough all-time highs, which is rather surprising considering what we've got going on. I suppose they never got horrendously priced, I guess. I think Apple and Google sort of still around 24, 25 PE or forward PE. So I guess not really crazy considering their profit margins. I have made another sale, still sort of consolidating my positions down, trying to reduce. I sold off Aviva. They're going to be doing a sort of rather large return of capital, sort of a special dividend basically, because they've been selling off a lot of their businesses. The new CEO, sort of Amanda Blank, wanted to sort of streamline the business basically, and so they've been sort of selling off a fair amount of stuff, and they're now going to do a return of capital. So I think this is sort of getting priced in, to be honest. I think it's next month. Shareholders are going to be entitled to about £1 a share. So yeah, that's going to sort of drop a fair amount. And as this is in my sort of taxable account, I wasn't all that interested in receiving that dividend. So I decided to sort of take the profit and sell that off. And I reinvested that in the house builders. So I've been sort of investing in Lennar the previous week, the US one, and sort of thought the UK ones were getting a bit unloved. So I put half the money into Barratt, which have been sort of hit down for a fair while. Potential, I guess, sort of people thinking about rising interest rates and a drop in the housing market would sort of hit the house builders. And then on top of that, they've got the cladding sort of UK issues to deal with. So yeah, they've been getting hit quite hard. And I put the other half into Taylor Wimpey. So yeah, what else have we got? Not a huge amount of movement from Broadcom or eBay. Glencore still staying sort of above £5, which is good. Had a sort of severe drop down during the week and then has recovered entirely. Still very volatile with the nickel sort of market not really getting back to normal just yet. Still seems a bit odd. Hymax down 8%. Couldn't really see any major news for this. I think it's probably just being a small cap. It's under $2 billion market cap. So people sort of trade this around. Semiconductors overall seem a little bit down, so it's probably followed that, to be honest. I do want to make I might make a sort of semiconductor video shortly, just on my thoughts on the few that I'm in. So yeah, stay tuned for that. As I say, Intel sort of following that market really. Don't know why it's not showing that there. Yeah, that's a little bit strange, but Intel's down sort of similarly, about 5%. So not too bad. Legal and General, nothing's showing anymore. Legal and General's fairly sort of flat on the week, so that's okay. Lennar slightly down, sort of similar to the other house builders. Meta Platforms doing okay, sort of trickling up, but slightly better than sort of Facebook and Apple, so that's pretty good. Volkswagen and Porsche doing quite well for the week. Not seeing sort of huge news for this. It's just sort of still being affected by the chip shortage, so anything sort of bullish regarding that and sort of getting cars back on the market and being produced is good news for them. Rio Tinto has sort of come back. A lot of the miners have done sort of fairly well. The sort of aluminium price seems a little bit flat. Iron ore's come up slightly. So I thought this sort of 5% rise was a little bit surprising, but we'll take that, of course. Samsung still continuing to not do too well. Might be something I will be adding to before long. Shell, fairly flat for the week. I was sort of kind of waiting for the Q1 earnings just to sort of remind everyone how much money they presumably have made over the first quarter with these oil and gas prices. So, but it'll be interesting to see what they sort of announce going forward, what they're going to be sort of spending the money on. I think that's really the thing that's going to drive sort of PE multiples, to be honest. What else we got? Stellantis up slightly, but nothing huge. So yeah, Taylor Wimpey, I put the other half of my Aviva money in. Not necessarily the bottom, but yeah, I think that was sort of early on in the week. So about £1.33. It's down slightly since then, but happy to be buying. Tesla continues to sort of rise up since the tech bottom sort of last month. And yeah, Tyson sort of, I think similar to the other sort of inflation hedge type stocks, still doing okay. So yeah, Vale basically followed Rio Tinto. It's got the nickel market, I suppose, that Rio Tinto hasn't, and iron ore sort of doing quite well, as well as copper. Yeah, so, and Volkswagen slightly up. So that's the portfolio for the week. Still sort of a little way off adding any significant money to this, although crypto is up. Kind of waiting for a fair bit more. So could be sort of later May, June time, I would think, to potentially be adding some more money to this, but we'll see. So leave your thoughts in comments below and like and subscribe. See you soon.